Mic Drop Moments is sponsored by Grow Radio. Want to launch your own podcast? Grow Radio are here to help. Grow Radio has launched and supported countless podcasts, and they'd love to do the same for you. Just hit record and they'll handle the rest. No editing stress, no technical faff, just a great podcast released when you want. Need a little extra support? Grow Radio's workshops and courses make getting started easy. Let's bring your podcast to life. Message Grow Radio on social media or reach out to Gary Jones, the founder of Grow Radio. Let's make this happen. Welcome to Mic Drop Moments, and today I'm chatting with Samantha Cameron, who is a social media expert and strategist, but I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself, Sam, and tell us exactly what you do.
Hi, Sandra, and thanks for having me on the podcast. Really excited to be here and sharing with you a little bit more about me and what I do. So yeah, you are correct. I'm a social media expert and strategist, but I'm also a social media psychologist. And I often get asked, what is that? And it's where I actually dig deeper into social media and basically how you bring psychology into working with your potential clients, looking at your audience, but also looking at your messaging, but also looking at how social media works and looking at the psychology around that, from how you post, using emojis, how we use links, how we kind of get people to buy from us as well, and how we sell to people. So it's kind of like a bigger picture, but it's actually simplifying it. And that's one of the things that I have done for the last 10 years since I've been doing this, is helping people simplify their social media, because it's overwhelming and it can be really stressful, and it doesn't have to be like that. But I'm also a mum of 5. I'm married to my husband Richard. I have a fur baby who is a mini dachshund called Nugget. So you may come across the term social nuggets, and that's me sharing tips and bringing my little pup into it as well. I love traveling, yeah, I'm just kind of, what you see on camera is what you get in real life.
I love that, and I'm totally with that. People get me warts and all. Before we dig into social media a bit more, because this is a really interesting topic, especially with some of the stuff you've said about the psychology of it and the overwhelm. And I know some people are ditching some social media channels completely right now because of that overwhelm. But I want to know your backstory. I want to know how you got into social media. You start wherever you wish, but give us some of the backstory.
All right. So I've been working since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, as your nan might have said. And I left school, went to college for 2 days and hated it. And then I joined YTS. So YTS back, 30 years ago, is your equivalent to apprenticeship now. And I started off in a estate agency. Then I got headhunted by another estate agent chain. Then I went into the motor industry. I was the youngest fleet manager for corporate for Volvo, where I started my kind of career for that. And then I went into working for RBS. And then I met my husband, Richard, and we decided to have 2 additional children. As you do, you're home dry with your older 3 and thinking, right, okay, we're going to have this lovely life where it's just the 2 of us. And then I decide that I want 2 other children, which we did. But I couldn't go back to work. My work was on the road all the time. So I decided to actually become a stay-at-home mum for the first time, which was really scary because I'd worked full time. I mean, when I had my eldest 25 years ago, you got 6 weeks maternity leave, and that was it. So I was straight back to work as soon as she was like 4 or 5 weeks old. So for me, I lost that independence. I've always been independent. I had my first house. I purchased my first house at 18. I had my own house when I met Rich, and I had my own money, my own car. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I'm a housewife now. I know this sounds really horrible. I'm being paid by my husband. I'm having to ask my husband to buy his birthday presents and his Christmas presents. And then I got made redundant from my job, which was perfect timing. Been there a long time, so I had a good redundancy package, and I decided to become a childminder. So I'm actually a fully qualified childminder, and if I'm literally one qualification of becoming a teacher, which I then learned very quickly that looking after children wasn't my thing. But I built my childminding business up to when I actually closed it, I had 48 children on our books throughout the week. So during the day, I had staff, the house became a nursery. And it was really stressful. We didn't have any holidays. So for someone that goes away literally like 10 weeks a year, that was just not what we wanted. Bo and Molly were 1 and 2 when I started doing this, and I just wasn't getting to spend any time with them because I was looking after other people's children. And it got really stressful. About a year before I closed the business, I was introduced to network marketing. And I was like, well, do you know what? This would be quite nice to do on the side. I actually wanted to take Bo and Molly to Euro Disney. And I was like, how am I going to raise the money for that? So I thought, I'll do network marketing, bit of money on the side. I can use it for that. And within 3 months within network marketing, I'd made manager status, which for the company that I worked for, on average, took 2 years. And I built it through Facebook. I couldn't go out and do the going up and talking to people. I couldn't do parties in the home because I had 2 babies and I had a full-time business and staff. So I did everything on social media. I built my team on social media through Facebook ads. Yeah, did everything online. And in that industry, if you think 12 years ago, that was unheard of. And then I had other network marketing companies kind of coming to me saying, how are you doing this? Can you show us how to do it? So I was approached by them, and I started doing training for them as well. And the company that I was representing knew that I was doing this, but there were people in the company that weren't happy with it, not in the head office itself, but other kind of distributors. So I was given an ultimatum: give up my business within the network marketing or give up the social media training. And I'm a Sagittarius and I don't like being told what to do. So I opted with going with the social media training, which was really scary because I handed over my big team. I handed over the big income. At this point, I'd given up my childminding business. This was the only income I had coming in, and it was a good income. And it was a really scary moment. So I said to them, look, as long as I can keep my 50% discount, because I love the products and I'll continue to use them, I'm off. You can have my team, you can have whatever. And the rest is history. I went along to a networking event. They were like, oh my God, Sam, how are you? We haven't seen you since your RBS days, and told them what I was doing. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. I started doing more social media training for small businesses. And then I started doing social media management as well. And when I started the social media management 9 years ago, it was just me. I had 30 clients that I was looking after. And then the team started growing about 4 years ago. And then we rebranded the agency last year. So we now have 3 parts of the business. There's me, myself, where I do the coaching and the social media training and the masterclasses. We have the social media agency. And then we have an academy, which is a CBT certified program where I teach and mentor people to become a social media specialist. And we're also creating a foundation this year, which I'm really proud about, because the foundation is going to help us raise money so that I can go into special needs schools and work with children with special needs and additional needs who are going to learn how to become social media specialists.
Wow, there's a lot in there to unpick, and also a lot of synergy. You know, I started out in estate agency and banking many, many years ago. I did when LinkedIn first started, I did some LinkedIn training, and I was going around training people. Similar situation. Bosses where I was at the time said, you can't do this. Because I was a solicitor at the time, they said, you can't go around LinkedIn training people, you know, it's just not the done thing. Because I said when it first started, this will go big, this will take off. But so I stepped back from that. But interestingly, I nearly worked with children and found out I didn't like other people's children. So hats off to you for doing that, because I know childminding is full on. But it's interesting how those stories weave themselves and how we find ourselves in a situation. We do something as an add-on to what we already do, and then that becomes the main thing. You know, speaking was a sidekick for me, but now it's one of the sort of center parts of my business. Social media, overwhelming. People are coming off Facebook. I mean, I'm only just starting to love Instagram. I don't love it really, but I'm telling myself I do. I still love LinkedIn. I was one of the first people on it. Absolutely love it. It's my happy place. It's where I feel most comfortable. But you know, you've got TikTok, you've got Blue Sky, you've got all these ones, Threads, Twitter or X, or as it was, most people have come off. Where does it stop? I mean, it can just become all consuming and you think you've got to be everywhere, and it does become overwhelming.
It does, and there's over 100 social media platforms, and we can't be on all of them. And like you said, the main ones that we know are LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Blue Sky, Twitter stroke X. You know, you've got Threads. Then you start looking at Be Real, and then you've got Snapchat, and then you've got Pinterest, and I get people that come to me, and I remember having a chat with somebody, and they said, "Oh, someone says I've got to be on TikTok." I'm like, "But you don't like doing videos?" Like, yeah, but they've told me that TikTok will be the platform for me. But you don't like doing videos, so why would you be on there? Oh, is it a video platform? Yes, it is. Oh, I don't want to be on there then, do I? I went, no, you don't. And I think this is the thing. We're like shiny pennies. We see a new platform, and as soon as a new platform comes out, I go and get my handle, because I don't like to keep all my eggs in one basket. And I want to make sure I've got my handle. And because I share a name with a famous person, I need to make sure that I get in there before her PR team do. So, I've got a social media handle for pretty much every single platform that we use in the UK. But for me, I often say to people, and when I work with people, I say, what's your favorite social media platform? And they'll say whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. And I say, just work with that, just focus with that. Because a lot of people think that they've got to go and use the platform where their audience are hanging out. Well, your audience are hanging out on every single platform. They buy you, and they will come and find you. And when we start going, oh, I've got to be on this one, then I've got to do this, and I've got to do that, we don't do what we need to do. Every single platform that we use, we need to be dedicating half an hour a day to it to make it work for us. So if you start working with like 4 or 5 platforms, have you got 2.5 hours a day to focus that time? No, we haven't. No one's got that time. I don't even have that time. So I teach a very simple method where I just say, look, you have a tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Your tier 1 is your platform that you love hanging out, you're comfortable, you like posting, you've got the time to engage, you've got the time to connect, and you've got the time to build it. Then your next tier 2, because you're already creating content, you can kind of go, oh, do you know what? It will work really well on there. Because people seem to think that they need to go and create this piece of content for this platform, something else for this platform. No, just create one piece of content and just shove it everywhere. And so for me, like my tier 1 is LinkedIn and Facebook, because an hour a day, I'm homing in on both and I'm making them work for me, and they do. They have a huge return on investment. My tier 2 is Instagram, so I put content on there. I do a little bit of connections on there and replying to people and stuff. And then my tier 3 is TikTok and YouTube, because I create a lot of video. So I'm like, well, if I'm creating video, I might as well help with my visibility and put it out. But I don't do anything else with it. I don't need to, but I still get work coming from it because it's helping grow my visibility. And what you also have to remember is that social media has SEO. So you can be, especially with Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok now, you all get searched on SEO through Google. So you want to make sure that if you have a social media platform, put the content on there, but don't necessarily spend your time on there. Find a platform that works for you, you're happy, you're comfortable, and make it work for you, and you work for it.
You said some interesting things there, Sam, about, I've never heard it explained from that perspective before, that you actually go where you love, not where your clients are. Your clients will come and find you. And I've been batting, trying to fall in love with some social media channels that I really don't like. LinkedIn is my happy place. Facebook is my happy place. I've been on there since mid-2000s. It's where you go, you naturally go. Ironically, that's where most of my clients are as well. But we all think we have to be elsewhere. We all think, I mean, I have got a YouTube channel because I do use that, but it's not my main focus. But it's really interesting to hear it from that perspective. And, You do have lots of holidays. I have lots of holidays. My goal is the 10 weeks a year. You're hitting your 10 weeks a year, but you don't switch off completely when you're on holiday. You're still monitoring those social channels a little bit, aren't you?
Yeah, I do. And I mean, at time of recording this, I'm just about to leave for I'm just about to take 7 weeks off and over the summer holidays. And all my social media is done. It's done now until I'm not back in the office until the 8th of September, and it is done. And that's because I create a very, very simple method that again allows people to create simple social media that you can not get stressed over. And I'm currently running this challenge with the people in my membership where I'm showing them how to do it, and it's just breaking it down. And I work in a 13-week block, so I create my social media for 13 weeks. And then what I do when I then get to week 14, so every quarter is a new quarter for the social media. So when I get to the 1st of October, I will just pick up the last 13-week block of social media, move it over and dump it into October, November and December. I might move a few things around. I might tweak it slightly. Dates might have changed. Prices might have changed. Offers might have changed. But I don't make, I'm not going to make life difficult for myself. You know, I have a busy family life. I like to take, I work school hours. I take Fridays off. So yes, I'm a social media expert, and people say to me, "Oh, it must be really easy for you to do your social media." I've ADHD. I've been in menopause for 3 years. I have dyslexia. I've OCD. I haven't got time to be sitting there and doing hours of social media. I get 15 minutes into my social media and I'm like, right, I'm out, I'm done. I'm going to go unload the dishwasher, or I've got to go and, one of the kids have asked for something, so I go and do that. So I have to make sure it works for me. And this is the method that I help with my clients. And my clients love it because they're like, oh my God, Sam, this is just like amazing.
Yeah.
And I had a message from a client last night and she said, Sam, thank you so much. I saw her 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago on Friday, she spent the day with me. We sorted everything out, looked at where she needed to be with her social media. And she messaged me last night and said, I now have 13 weeks of content scheduled, not just one post a day, not just 2 posts a day, 3 posts a day. I mean, how incredible is that?
It is. And I'm a big, huge advocate of 90-day planning, which is your 13 weeks.
Yeah.
And I say to people can't remember what you posted last week, so they're not going to remember what you posted 3 months ago or a year ago.
Yeah.
Why are we trying to reinvent the wheel all the time when we could actually just sit down? I bet you, if you sat down for a day, you could plan a 13-week, 90-day
Yeah.
block.
Yeah, you can. And it's amazing how many people, when I do like social media audits for people, I go through their timeline and I say to them, right, what are your main 3 products? Have you got any events that you are like selling or you've got coming up over the next 3 to 6 months? And I go through their social media and they've mentioned their event once and they've mentioned how they can work with someone once, but yet they've shared other people's posts and they've put in all the personal stuff, which is great. But you need to be telling people every single day how somebody can buy from you, work from you. And I do this all the time. I have 3 main things that I talk about every week or every month, and it literally goes Monday's this thing, Tuesday's this thing, Wednesday, then we're back to Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And that is how it is. I never sit there and go, oh, Sandra's going to be sick and tired of seeing my post for this. Sandra's going to be sick and tired of seeing that. Or Sandra's going to message me and say, oh, Sam, you've shared that post 3 times. Nobody, I know it sounds horrible. Nobody cares. They just want to see your social media and it's about shouting the loudest because it is so busy. But the other thing that we do, which in a way it's a bit yin and yang, this one, we put a lot of personal stuff out because we know that personal stuff is going to get the engagement, it's going to get us reach. It gives us that warm feeling inside that everybody loves us, and we all want to be loved on social media because there's nothing worse than putting a post out and it's literally got 0 interaction. But then what happens is we put a business post out promoting an event or something we do, and it's tumbleweed. We might get a few likes, but we don't get the same reaction as what we did for the personal post. So we stop putting the business stuff out. And because we want that love, we want to feel accepted. And that's wrong. It should be 50-50. If you're putting a personal post out, you put a business post out. You put your personal post out first because that's going to get your interaction and help the algorithm wave for when your business post goes out. And if you go and have a look at my social media, that is what I do with all of my platforms. This morning, I put a post out about cheese and pineapple on a
I
cocktail
saw
stick.
it. I
Yeah,
saw it.
what comes first, but it's going to get people engaging because this afternoon I've got a business post going out where I want people to buy tickets. So it's about all of these things that you need to do. And this is a strategy because I sit down and plan and go, right, this is what's coming out. That's what needs promoting. How are we going to push it? And it's the same for LinkedIn as well. My Facebook and my LinkedIn strategy is mirrored, absolutely mirrored.
I don't think you can leave. I don't think you can schedule for 3 months and then just walk away. There's got to be some engagement, hasn't there?
There has, yeah. And this is where your time comes in. So, like each day, I'm commenting on at least 10 posts. It's normally 10 to 20 posts a day that I comment. I connect with 10 to 20 new people every single day. This is Facebook and LinkedIn because these are my tier two. I'm messaging people that I'm connecting with. I'm messaging people that have shown interest in products or events that I run. I'm doing all of this. So I have a checklist that I do every single day. When I talk every single day, I'm talking Monday to Friday because I don't do stuff at the weekends. Weekends is family time for me. But that checklist are things that I do religiously every single day. And it's then making sure that I have a really good strategy. I've got my 3 to 4 posts going out a day. I've got stories going out. I've got videos going out. I'm connecting with people. And it's not taking me a huge amount of time because I've already created the content. So I don't have to recreate that. If I think of new ideas, I've got the headspace to do it. And all I do throughout the day is I do pockets of time. So when I'm boiling the kettle takes 2 minutes to boil, 4 minutes to make a decent cup of tea. Yorkshire tea bag, let it brew for 4 minutes. So in those 6 minutes, I can be replying to people's posts. I can be connecting with people. And this is where it is. It's stop scrolling, don't stop doom scrolling because we actually have our phones for 7 hours a day on average. We go into a social media platform and we'll scroll for 18 minutes on average every time we go in. We go and sit on the toilet. We take our phone with us. We start scrolling. We wait for we're waiting at the school gates. We're scrolling. It's about actually thinking how we can use that time to be productive in our business. And this is what I do. I very rarely scroll. And when I do, I put a timer on. There's 10 minutes. I'm scrolling, but I'm scrolling with a purpose that I'm commenting. I do scroll 10 minutes a day on TikTok, and that's to get inspiration for the reels and the videos that I do, so that I can make sure that I'm doing them on a daily basis and just getting ideas. But again, timer goes on, and then I'm in and I'm out.
Some fantastic insights there, Sam, and we could talk about this all day. I
Oh
really
God,
could.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm so glad that I'm booked onto one of your courses later this year because I'm going to just soak it all up. And I think, before you can outsource, you need to understand it yourself. You do need to understand the workings.
Yeah.
I always ask my guests to leave the audience with a top tip, piece of advice, piece of wisdom, their mic drop moment. What would yours be?
My advice is take on board what I've said in the podcast, but think about go through your social media for the last year and think to yourself, oh, I put that post out. Can I reuse it? I'm going to use it next week. I put that post out. And honestly, I can guarantee you now, if you go back through all your social media for the last year, you would be able to create 13 weeks worth of content with a post going out at least once a day. Just have a go at it, over the next couple of days. Just go through. And the best way to do it, if you use Instagram, so if you're someone that puts all your content on Instagram's the best way to do it because you can just go down your grid and look at your images and you can cut because your images will then trigger what that post was, and it's the easiest way to do it. But trust me, I can guarantee you now, if you go through, I bet you've only shared that post once, and I bet it was a year ago. Go and share it again because there's no harm. But also make sure you're telling people who you are, what you do, and make a list of all your products and services, whether they're paid or free, and make sure you are giving them airtime on your social media once a week or at least once a month. That's all you need to be doing.
Fantastic advice to leave us with there. Today, I've been chatting to Samantha Cameron. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.